Right, quick update. Last night wired together the new speedo. Obviously that's the old connections coming through, chopped the old plug off, wired in the new speedo. Nice little Koso DB-01r, I think it is. Nice small unit, but Koso are meant to be quite a good make, so I went with them. As I say, Mrs. works for Wiimoto, so got it 30 quid cheaper than normal, so not bad for 60 quid. Yeah, just thrown the wires together really and lobbed them on top, plugged everything in, put a battery on, and this is the first test. Hopefully I've done it right, or there'll be a bit of sparking and maybe a little explosion. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, pretty lights. Oh, I've got an oil light. So that's one less worry. Whether it turns off when the engine goes, I don't know. Oh, we've got indicators. Why that put 1 mile an hour up when I did that? No, that's all right. So high beam light sorted. Fucking sorted. And just to see, because I've wired it into actually the bike's speed sensor, which is on the front sprocket. I don't know what it initially comes set up. I'll try that again. I don't know what it initially is set to on the new dash, but obviously it's thinking it's running off the front wheel with the magnets in the disc and their own sensor strapped to it, whereas I've wired it directly to the bike. So hopefully I should get something. Oh, there you go. Obviously not accurate, because being that is registering 20 mile an hour, so there might be a little bit of a discrepancy there. So yeah, I've got to get into the settings and try and set that up. But no, I'm happy with that. It's more than I expected. As I say, I fucking absolutely hate doing wiring, and I just seem to be doing loads of it. Ever since I said I hate doing wiring, I've done fucking loads of it. But it's got to be part and parcel of doing the bike, isn't it? So this is going to sit. Oh, I do like it when it's a proper plug-in. There you go. This is going to sit on the lock there. So very neat, very tidy. Whether that actually will, I have to configure some weird bracket for it. But yeah, that's the idea. That will sit there. Very minimalist look on the front end. And that will be pretty much the front end done. So yeah, there you go. It lights up. The lights work at the moment. So the next thing to do is tidy it all up, heat the heat shrink, and really get it looking tidy. Feed it through properly. Bracket it on, situate it properly, and get the tank in there, get the whole thing back together, and then see how we go from there. As I say, because of the lights, as I said in the previous video on the StreetFighter, because of the lights came so far back. Let's see if you can see that. You see the cone there, because it came so far back, to get it at the right sort of angle, it actually, the wires coming from it actually knocked against the lock, the ignition switch. So I had to take that off. So I've put it there, which doesn't look too bad. It's sort of flush with your slider, and it's like, well, it's a bit fat, but it's alright for the time being. But then when you put the key in, it's like it sticks out a mile. So I don't know whether I might just take the actual lock barrel out and use a screwdriver or something for the time being, just so it doesn't stick out so far. So I stand half a chance if I do go over, the slider will take it rather than the bloody lock itself. But yeah, that's another day. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. As I say, I hate wiring. I've not really done any of it. Soldering, I've never done any soldering, and soldered all these connections. So I was quite chuffed with myself last night that it looked so tidy when I'd finished. It doesn't now, it looks a fucking mess on the bike, but obviously I'll tidy all that up. But yeah, quite chuffed with that. So there you go, there's a quick update on the speedo. Tidy it all up, put it all together, get it running. Probably not tonight, because I think I'm going to go in and have a celebratory beer. So that'll probably be Friday, this being Wednesday. Yeah, tidy it up, get it back together, and see if it actually runs. See if my oil light goes out when it's running, and obviously sort something out about the speedo, get the settings right in there. See if we can get some accuracy on that. But yeah, stay tuned. Exciting stuff. Ride safe, and if your bike's in bits, fix it safely. Or do what the fuck you want, like I am. Cool. Later. Right. Finally got the wiring done to wire in my Koso speedo, and I haven't been out on the road to test it yet. I've just got it finished, having stripped out that front light about 5-6 times now to redo wiring and check this, check that. But I'm pretty confident that it's all good. On here is the wiring that I've done. Obviously these are the wires from the Koso speedo unit. This is the wires from the bike, and this is their function. The earth wire is the earth for the temperature gauge, but on the Koso speedo you don't get a temperature gauge, so those wires are obsolete anyway. The speedo, the 3 wires that come off the Koso, I did wire directly into the bike, but for some reason all it did was mess the speedo around, so I gave up on that idea. So I've actually gone with, oh, you can't see it, but the speedo unit is down there, the sensor, and I've put in 5 magnets, which is the amount of Allen bolts I've got holding the disc on, so that was the maximum I could have in there. So there's 5 magnets in there. And then the settings, I've obviously set it to miles per hour because I'm in the UK. Tyre circumference, don't know how accurate that is. Again, I'll find out when I'll put it up against the GPS unit or something like that to find out whether the speed and distance are accurate. Settings, I've put it on 4-stroke, 5 magnets in the front wheel, 1 piston. A lot of people were saying you divide the stroke by the pistons. So if you've got a 4-stroke with 2 pistons, you'd put in that there's 2 pistons. Obviously I've got a 4-stroke with 4 pistons. Divide together it is 1, so I put in 1 piston. I've spun the front wheel, and I'll get a reading which seems accurate. It'll do for now. We'll try and authenticate. That'll do. Authenticate its accuracy when I go out on the road, which won't be tonight because it's dark and wet and windy and horrible. For the tacho, for the rev counter, I've put in high. I've used the yellow wire. Where are we at? Yellow wire, there you go. Brown from the Koso, yellow from the bike. For the rev counter. Initially I couldn't get it going, and then I realised I had it on the low setting, which indicates a negative impulse from the bike. I needed it on the high setting for the positive impulse, and now, as I'll show you in a minute, because I can't run the bike too long because obviously I'll choke because I'm only in a little shed. Yeah, so I've put it on high setting, seems to work. Fuel gauge doesn't matter, I've left it at 100, but it doesn't matter because there's no fuel gauge on it, so it doesn't matter what the reading is. And you can actually set the mileage reading, so I've taken it from my last MOT, which was 27,200. So that's all looking like they are the correct wires and the correct settings for this bike, which is a 2001 GSXR 600 SRAD, the carburetor version, the last of the carburetor versions, I believe. So yeah, there you go. Ignition's still down here, still got to do something with that, but it's novel. There you go, started up, got to reset the mileage. I've put it in a bit low. I've just checked my MOT, so it wants to be a bit higher than that. Neutral light. Don't be surprised if, when your side stand down, the neutral light isn't on. A lot of people have said this about it. Don't know why, but obviously when you come to a stop, you put, well, I put it into neutral, then I put my side stand down, because obviously it cuts out if you haven't got it in neutral and you put your side stand down. So I always put, so that's not an issue with me. There you go. Yeah, every time you put the side stand down, it disappears. So there you go. Got the new projector lights on the front there. Very handsome, thank you very much. There's a high beam light, oil warning light, neutral light as we've already said. Indicators, both sides. So all working as should. And there you go. I think the setting is a little bit high, but it's working. You know, anyone who see, the oil light did go out and come back on, so it's obviously registering properly. Anyone who doesn't know when to change gear on a motorbike wants to take the engine out and start cycling. But there you go, all set up. Fucking so pleased with myself. I've hated wiring forever and avoided it like the plague, and with a lot of research, thank you internet, obviously there's the paperwork that comes with it, the wiring diagram that I printed off because I wasn't sure that the one in my Haynes manual was accurate enough. But yeah, I mean, there's all the notes. That's where I was going to do the speed sensor to the bike, which didn't work, so scrub that, put the magnets on instead, which is a bit uglier. I was trying to keep it tidy and wire free, but there you go, can't have everything. Perhaps one day I'll get it sorted. But there you go. So I hope that helps some people out. I'll probably give an update when I eventually get out on the bike, which, what's today, Monday before Christmas. Unless there's a really good day that I take the bike into work, it'll be over the Christmas weekend. So subscribe, do whatever. If you need that update, if you want that update, and I'll keep you informed. But there you go, one Koso DB-01r dash fitted to a GSXR 600 SRAD carburetor version. I thank you and goodbye. When I say goodbye, I mean I'll reach for the remote and then I'll say goodbye. Happy Christmas as well, if I don't get another one in. Happy Christmas, everybody. It's that one. Bye-bye.